basically, Abu Abdurrahman's question is very crystal clear. He's talking about the Muslim minorities in Europe and in non-Muslim countries, and that they have been infiltrated. And this is a fact. Muslim communities have been infiltrated by the enemies of Islam, whether it is intelligence powers, whether it is deviant sects and cults, trying to undermine true Islam. So they infest the Muslim community with deviant theories, ideas, beliefs, you name it, they've got it. And one of the easiest way to demolish the Muslim community is to corrupt the females. If you manage to integrate, in their sense, between men and women and have them mix together and uplift all barriers, this would mean that you've been melted in their melting pot and you've become like the kafir. Because there is definitely characteristics different from one another. There are differences between us and them. Being citizens of their countries does not mean at all to be integrated and to compromise your religion. In Europe nowadays, I was told that they force girls and boys to take physical education classes. And this means that they have to swim in the same swimming pool at school. Who in his right Islam, I would not say mind, because people may have minds but do not have Islam, who would send his daughter or even his son, who's a teenage, to share a swimming pool with the opposite gender and then say, don't fall into sin? This is not possible. Allah Azza wa Jal had made segregation between men and women even in the most sacred spots on earth, and that is the masjids. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, the best rows of men in salat, in prayer, in the masjid, the best rows of men are the first, and the worst rows of men are the last. And the best rows of women are the last, and the worst rows of women are the first. So imagine, the closer women are to men, this is bad. Now, to enforce having women in the board running the masjid, so claiming that the committee that runs the masjid, we have to have women, this is, we have to look into it. If they are totally segregated, they never mix, they never meet, it's only limited to emails or a WhatsApp group where the women take care of the women's section and they view their needs and their ideas in order to improve and to run the women's section properly, and that is it, this is halal. There's no problem in appointing a woman whom we never saw her face, whom never sat with us in a meeting, whom we never exchanged jokes with, to run the female section. She knows everything about the maintenance, what the food, when the food of iftar is served, the classes to be run, the Q&As, when they are submitted and answered and delivered, etc. But if by saying that running a masjid is not gender oriented, this is wrong. If you're meaning by that to have a woman sit with us on the same table, looking at one another, discussing the affairs of the masjid, cracking a joke here or there, looking at her when she smiles or frowns. What is this? This is not Islam. Maybe in Europe this is okay, but not with the Muslims. Maybe with other religions, maybe. Cultural things, maybe. Islam prohibits this totally. So, akhi, you have to hold your grounds. Now the Muslims worldwide, even in Muslim countries, are being separated and divided into two factions, as the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that at the end of the time, the Muslims would split into two divisions. Islam, without a hypocrisy in it, without any hypocrisy in it, and a division that is hypocrites without no iman in it. This is what we're seeing now being developed, and the disbelievers in the West, they're banking on these hypocrites because they look like us, they speak like us, they claim that they are God-loving people, when actually they are doing their very best to undermine and to demolish the infrastructure of Islam wherever it is. So Abu Abdurrahman, what you had said is right. And when the Prophet said, alayhi النِّسَاءُ شَقَائِقُ الرِّجَالِ, meaning that women are the sisters of men, in the sense that they share the same religious obligation, he did not say that they were equal. Rather, he said that in regards to religious commitment, when they're ordered to pray like they pray, fast like they fast, give zakat like they, exactly the same. But no one says that women have to do jihad like men. No one says that the women have to provide for her husband like a husband has to do that. And there are so many differences between them. Among them is that they must not at all share with them platforms, or like we see nowadays, a number of du'at are sitting and sharing the platform, the stage with other women. And they're talking and they're discussing, what is this? This is like Islam Virgin 2020? This is not permissible. So many da'is nowadays have no problem in having selfies with women. I don't know if Islam changed or the da'is have changed. So hold your ground, ask Allah for al-thabat. The Prophet ﷺ always used to say, O turners of hearts, make my heart steadfast on your way, on your religion. And may Allah Azza wa Jal make us all steadfast.